Welcome back to Hustle Adjacent. I am Kelly.
And I'm Ariane, and believe it or not, it is the season finale.
What?
I cannot believe it is already time to wrap the season up.
Just
How do you feel?
think that this was literally a random idea we had.
It was a
and
random
I've
idea
had so
that-
much fun over these few weeks to kind of like talk about also still randomness, but
Yeah.
also get down to the heart of like what's next for us.
Yeah.
I think
And
that's been magical.
I feel like as I think about what we talked about in each episode, and we'll kind of go into our highlights, I do feel like one of our things was, look, let's do this thing because it'll be fun. It'll be a creative outlet. We did not overthink this. We put our heads together. We put things in place with the help of a very outstanding team.
Woohoo!
We were able to pull this thing off. But I also feel like I'm proud of what I think the value will be for people listening in. Even if it's just kind of getting a peek at what goes on in the mind of two successful entrepreneurs who are choosing to redefine what the hustle looks like for them.
Yeah, I also think that I really like podcasts, and I spent the last few years driving a lot around. And I think there are different types of podcasts. And I think there are the ones that you get to hear from an expert. They're the ones who, like, the people just talk at you and, they're supposed to be a coach of some sort. And then there's the ones that are just fun. And so I hope that this is coming off as fun. And that's what I've always wanted. Like, it's kind of like you get to be at dinner with us.
Right.
As we kiki about something random, and it goes down a tangent that makes no sense.
Right.
And until somebody says, okay, can we go back to what we were talking about? That's what happens. And that's what I felt a lot.
Who has been in a room with us or on a phone call with us or at dinner with us will vouch for the fact that this is much like what you would expect.
We've been on our best behavior.
Yes.
I think I said I've only cursed like 2 or 3 times.
A handful of times. I'm so proud of you.
I know. I'm so proud of me.
We are good.
Yes. And I think that we've also grown as we've discussed this stuff. And even though these are things we've discussed many times over, and some things were new, obviously, it's like, oh, now I'm looking at it differently.
Right.
And so should we get into that? Like what we feel like we got or what's next for us? I don't know if we need to do a rundown of every episode.
Maybe
but
the thing that we could talk about is like maybe your favorite aha moment or biggest lesson you've learned.
I think if I take it, I don't think it should be from me. Like I shouldn't have an aha moment from something I said. That seems even more ridiculous than I usually am. But I think the one thing that I really did make me say, oh, that's a great way to frame it, was our discussion about the artist way and the idea of what a creative is. And I don't remember how you phrased it, but it was like, if you are solving a problem, you are a creator.
So true.
And so I just think there are a lot of people who have very narrow views of what creation is and what creatives do. And they are sometimes gatekeepers in the world that we live in. And so to go in with that idea in your mind that because you solve problems, you are a creator, I think makes me more confident, right? It makes me approach things in a way that, to the extent, because one of the things we never got into is I think part of the desire not to be in this rat race for some of the things we used to want is to not have to deal with gatekeepers, right? And deal with other people deciding if you're worthy of what you wanted.
Right.
And I think by thinking of it and recognizing that you're a creator, because I fixed that problem, that allows you to go into those spaces or just sit with who you are in a way that's much more positive.
Yeah, for sure.
And reassuring.
Good. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that landed that way for you. And hopefully the listeners enjoyed that distinction as well, because I think it also empowers people and it gives them the sense of pride in whatever they're doing to create in their lives. For me, one of the biggest ahas was our discussion about actually being unbothered. And one of the things that you said that I thought was so refreshing was, I'm unbothered now, but I'm going to give myself the space to maybe want to adjust again what my aspirations and ambitions are. And, I feel like I was trying to tell myself, especially as I grieve what I thought I wanted, and trying to make sure that I affirm the gut reaction or the intuition that tells me it's good to be in this space right now, that I had to close and lock that door forever. But for you to say, maybe in a couple months, years,
days,
I might adjust. I was like, that's pretty cool, because I think the whole intention of this entire podcast is to blow up the myth that things are black and white. That's the whole premise of this hustle adjacent.
Right.
You don't have to pick hustle or not. You could be adjacent to and just doing it in a different way.
Right.
And that was one of those ways that you helped me reframe this all or nothing mindset of what it means to cast a vision for your business.
And that's one of the times that surprised me, like on my own, as we were talking. Like, I am very confident in where I am right now.
Same.
And the choices I'm making right now are right for me right now.
Right.
But I also feel like, next year is my 15th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I'm going to try to do a big party or something because I'm
you
always
should.
over the top. But at the same time, I've been doing this for 15 damn years.
Mm-hmm. That's a minute.
It's time. It might be time to switch.
That's a minute.
It might be time to turn this into something different, right?
Yeah.
That's longer than I was a lawyer. And I will tell you that $160,000 I had to pay back to Stanford is
Right.
not
right.
worth what I had, the 8 years I was a lawyer. So anyway, the point is, it's like, I think that was very surprising for me when I said it, I was like, that's very accurate. Like, I can be confident in who I am right now, but situations will change.
Yeah.
Life circumstances will change. And I will hopefully adjust with the help of my morning pages.
Yes.
And maybe my therapist.
Both. Both. It's double therapy
and
whammy.
a lot of liquor.
And artist dates and all the things that we've learned as coping mechanisms. Your 12-step shower routine. Now you at one point at least are going to try the 12-step skin flooding routine.
I don't even think I have 12 things to put on my face.
True. Maybe you don't have to try that. But the point is...
That's the crazy... I actually do not have 12 things to put on my face.
We probably shouldn't. None of us should.
That's fair.
None of us should.
And like I said, I would rather save my money for the facelift. Or what they call it now. They don't call it facelift. They call it facial rejuvenation. Or something like that.
I think it's facial
Whatever
balancing.
it is. There are some people...
They look
Listen,
good.
Can I get the Kris Jenner face?
Who did it?
Can I get the Kris Jenner
did
face?
It? Because I'm telling you, that was worth every penny.
Every penny. Every
single penny.
That's like
mortgage, loan,
She
kidney.
took like 30 years off her life.
Easily. Maybe more. I mean, she is looking good.
I ain't too proud for that. Y'all gonna see me one day and be like, when she become 18? Say less, man. Say less.
The death becomes her potion. Just be real careful with them hips.
They gonna be like, Zoe, is that your mama or your sister?
You know it's coming. And that's when you know you have unlocked the ultimate level.
So stay tuned.
Okay.
And see my new face. I got like at least 10, 15 years before I need a facelift.
For that facelift. I'm in the meantime.
You gonna flood your face.
Flood my face.
You gonna flood your face.
I'm gonna hold it down on this end.
Okay.
I'm not judging you. I'm
gonna be the guinea pig.
Yeah.
I think next year I'm at least gonna go to Korea and try some new stuff.
Yeah, now that I will go with you. Because that is a whole nother tangent that maybe you should come up season 2 about my obsession with Korean entertainment and drama. Oh my girl, K-pop? Listen, I have an entire Spotify playlist. I have picked up some Korean phrases.
Are they singing in English?
Both. English and Korean.
This is the most random conversation we've had.
But it's par for the course.
But wait,
have you met
why
me?
do you have what?
I don't know, but it's here. Okay. I am obsessed.
Doesn't it mess up your overall feed, though?
No, my feed is wonderful. And also on TikTok, I get infusions of K-pop idol updates. Listen, we're going off on a tangent. But my point is, when we go to Korea for our facial routines and processes and experiences, I will be able to get us to the bathroom, to the restaurants. I'll be able to say hello, thank you, how's your brother? I got it.
Okay.
I got you.
How's your brother?
Yes.
Okay. How do you say that?
Opa.
That's actually hilarious.
I don't even know how we got here. But my point is,
I'm happy
I got you.
We did.
I got you.
Okay.
That's my point.
Okay.
So we have talked about how we feel good where we are. What are you still working on in your softening? This whole podcast is about trying to get to that soft, aspiring to be a little softer in personal life and in business. What do you still think you have to work on in those areas?
I think that I need to work on, I need to work on a lot of stuff. If we're talking about just, I need to figure out how to work out in a way that I don't hate. I need to figure, you know what I mean? There are a lot of things that are specific, maybe my skincare routine. But I think what the biggest thing I need to work on is reframing.
Oh, I feel like you do such a good job of that, though.
Reframing it internally.
Okay.
The whisperers, right?
Oh,
in the
that's
sense
a big deal.
of, there's a part of me that like, I can say all that I want out loud, and then sometimes it'll be like, "But Kelly, are you saying that because you just don't wanna do this? Or are you saying that because it is being challenging in the Bay? Like, or are you saying that because, like, you're still trying to make inroads in Atlanta?" Like, it's what of
Yeah.
I believe everything I'm saying, but then, at night or if something comes up,
That's
you're
real.
like, are you for real?
That's
Or are you just
real.
saying what you need to say to get through the day?
Yeah.
And so I think that is a hard thing to change, right? When
Oh, for
when your
sure.
entire life has been, I'm going to this top school, I'm gonna do this, I'm not gonna fail. Like literally, I could have probably made some of the decisions I'm making now 2 years ago. It was clear that things were changing, and but I refused to fail. I grew up in a house where failure was not an
Celebrated,
option.
right?
Definitely not celebrated. You were only celebrated when you were doing great things.
Agreed.
And to this day, like even now, as I come up with this new plan, a part of it is like, this new plan is also still based on the fact of what I consider to be true failure versus not.
Right.
So maybe in my heart of hearts, I just want to let it all go.
Yeah.
I don't.
So real.
I think it's fun.
It's so real.
But it's real, right? Like how much of this is real and how much of it is reframing?
Yeah. That's
it's
really
weird.
good. That's really good. And hearing you explain that would agree. There's so much of me that understands on the conscious level what I should want or how I should be or how I should think or how I should reframe things. But there is absolutely a level of work that has to happen at the subconscious, which is kind of why that Artist Way is a great tool. It gets to the subconscious of what are you telling yourself that is sabotaging your work or creating blocks to your creativity or whatever, right? That's just one of the tools we talked about this season. But for sure, the work of the reframing on the subconscious is important. So if we have anything to leave with the listeners before we wrap up, what would be one word of encouragement you would give to the listeners who, after they listen to a whole season, they say, I too want to have a hustle adjacent, soft life, aspiring life?
I think really the biggest thing is it is okay to not know what the hell you're doing.
Real. That's
and
facts.
What the hell you want. And to be figuring that out as you go. And it's disruptive and you can't always do it that way, right? Like if you are taking care of somebody else or you're married or whatever, like it's not going to be a straight line, but it's also okay. And one of my biggest things now is giving people grace because you just don't know what people are going through.
Yeah.
Give yourself grace as you figure that out. And hopefully you figure it out. Like don't take fucking forever to do it.
Right.
I just upped my cursing count.
It's okay. I swear jar
like don't
coming.
take forever to do it, but like give yourself the grace to figure out what that looks like. And also maybe some of this is overthink. Like don't overthink it. Like even this last thing we just said about this whisper.
Yeah.
So what? I get whispers all the time about you should eat that donut, right? Like,
right. But
I
do
don't
you
always.
eat the donut?
So maybe the whispers aren't a big deal and you go with what your gut is saying. So I think there's just like this permissive idea. I think it really also goes back to one thing we said earlier about it is perfectly okay to not always striving to be better.
Yeah.
Or it's okay to consider yourself basic and just be. Maybe this is the season of being.
Maybe this is the season of being. And I think that's the road to the soft life.
Yeah, because then that becomes your soft life, right? Because if this is your season of being and you just get to be, it is not as much hard work as it is to try to get to that next level.
Right.
So what do you think?
If I had to leave the viewers or listeners with any encouragement, it would be to take the time to sit back and challenge every assumption you've ever had. Assumptions about who you need to present yourself as, what you need to be doing, who you need to be working with, who you need to be working for, what projects you need to be working on if you are a designer or business owner. And really challenge whether your assumptions are correct. Because what you might find is that some of those assumptions are keeping you small or keeping you locked into situations or working agreements that aren't serving your greater good, are causing the blocks to your creativity, blocks to financial success, and are also keeping you in this rat race that is making you stressed and getting you farther and farther away from this soft life that you say you aspire to have. So the examples of that, as I think about our episodes, would be challenging the assumption of what it looks like to be a successful business owner and especially in terms of how many people work for you, how many projects you work on, how much you're bringing in revenue. Because if the revenue is tied to what it takes to cover the overhead of all those people, is it really the right revenue goal? Right. Or is it just causing you more work? Those are the things that I think in this season of life have been really beneficial for me and have caused me to, really rethink things. I think they've also given me the opportunity to open new doors and change the way that my daily routines look. Again, I talked about this not having an alarm clock. Well, that only happened when I challenged the assumption that I had to be in my desk at 7:30 in the morning.
Right.
Because I realized that assumption was rooted in the fact that I felt like I needed to do that for other people.
Right.
I still get my work done, whether I get to my desk at 10:30 or 7:30. I'm still going to get the work done.
And I think that's kind of what you're saying. Like, don't worry about what other people, figure out what you want. I think two things just came to mind in the sense of that. One, I would like to give grace for people who may be at a time in their life where hustling is good right now. Like in my 20s, hustling was perfect for me. Right? I didn't have much. I mean, I was a child bride, so I was already married, but I didn't have kids. I didn't have I could just hustle to create the life that I wanted. At the time, that life was all revolved around money. I mean, it still revolved around money, let's be honest. But it was like, okay, I'm going to hustle. I'm going to work in this law firm to make a significant amount of money that I can then live a lifestyle that I want, right? And thank God for my husband, who is very frugal, as we say, that he made us make choices, right?
Yeah.
And so I just want to say, like, this whole soft life is great. And, everybody's talking about that. Even we're talking about hustle adjacent. But there are times in your life where the hustle can be real.
Yeah.
And if you know that in the future you want to have kids, but you want to live a life, then maybe this is the time you hustle. This is the time you're like, when you were meeting with that consultant, maybe that should have been 10 years before.
Right.
And then you could okay, I'm willing to do this.
That's right.
For the next 10 years. So I think that one of the things I don't want, even though I'm super judgmental in general, I don't want this podcast to come off as, you should never hustle. Right. And I think we never really got into the whole notion. Like, you still got to get your work done. You still got to
you still have to grind. You still have to bring
you have to figure out where you are in that phase.
That's
and decide if you have something you want to hustle for. Maybe you are very content with your life and you don't need to hustle. But if you figure out what you want and you need to hustle for it, then figure out if that's worth it to do it now, if it's worth it to do over a long period of time, but it's still your choice.
Right.
And the only other thing is, and this goes with your last point about figuring out, sitting with yourself and figuring out what you want. And I think I mentioned this to you recently, but there is a book called Playing Big. And it's called by Tamara Mao or something like that.
Tara Moore.
Tara Moore. Okay. I think I always mix that up because of the twins.
Yeah, the Maoris.
Anyway, and in that book, she talks about, it's called Playing Big. It's talking about how women often play small and don't have the big dreams and things it's just things we've heard all along, especially if you're in corporate America, about how women don't speak up, blah, blah, blah. But one of the things she has you do early in the book is an exercise. And I'm not a super woo-woo person, but I do love a good meditation sometimes. And this exercise forces you to meditate in a way, and it's a guided meditation, where you end up meeting your future self. And you're knocking on the door and your future self is opening it, and then you get to ask that future self questions. And it says, so it makes you know. So it's like, this is who you want to be in the future. And you don't even know that this is probably what you've been thinking.
Yeah.
And so how are you going to get there?
Right.
How are you going to get there? Are you going to marry rich?
Right. How did
are you
get
work
there?
Hard?
What's the secret, girl?
Are you going to,
This is the thing I love about that visualization exercise. What we're learning as we read, as we talk to each other, as we go through life, is you go through a part of your life when you're younger where you feel like the answer is outside of you. If I buy the course, if I buy the template, if I hire the coach, if I, call the other friend who's also a business owner, they will have the answer. I don't have it. When you get to the point where you then realize you challenged your assumptions, you sat with yourself, you try to figure out what you want, and then you use a tool like what you just talked about, which I'm going to go buy the book right now. That exercise is a picture of you knowing within yourself what it's going to take to get there. It's just causing you to face yourself and admit that you actually know. So, for example, if I told you I wanted to be able to walk up and down the beach in a string bikini, size 2, and I have several sizes to lose to get there, I could hire someone to tell me how much I need to eat, how long I have to work out, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Or you could get
what
lipo.
I know, you always trying to get under somebody's knife. Not me. But what I know within me is if I had to visualize that person's body, she would tell me that she's eating mindfully. She's getting good sleep. She's drinking water. She's working out.
You already know the answer.
You know the answer. And so the answer to the soft life quest is you being honest with yourself about what hustle means to you in the most healthy way.
And if you're willing to do it.
And if you're willing to do it. And if you're not willing to do it, do not lie to yourself. When you knock on the door, she gonna tell you, well, there was a period where I had to work 80 hours a week and da-da-da. And she will tell, your version, future Kelly's gonna tell you, it was a part of me, a rough season where I had to leave it all on the floor. And then I had to choose what was going to be the priority.
Yeah.
So the reason that I'm talking to you right here and Zoe sitting next to me is because we have a good relationship because I poured into her too.
Right.
The Kelly of the future is going to tell you the things you already know.
Yeah.
And so that's why being quiet and introspective and thinking through and challenging every assumption, the things that you think about in your life that you're like, I don't know, just challenge yourself to see, do I have any inclination? Does my intuition tell me anything about maybe the direction to go, right? Because I think that is why that visualization is so powerful. It really points to the fact that many of us have the answers already.
One of my favorite daily affirmations is you already know the answer.
You do.
Stop procrastinating.
Now that's the part.
Stop trying to find another book to read.
Yep.
And just do what you know you're supposed to do.
Yep.
And if you're not willing to do, this isn't part of the affirmation because that would be depressing.
But the Kellyism is.
But that part, and if you're not willing to do it, admit that and find another goal.
That's right. That's right. And if you
or another way to get there,
what you should be doing at a high level, tools like Playing Big or The Artist Way teach you how to take inspired action. That's what this podcast is. This podcast is us not knowing. We did not know. But it was inspired action that Kelly challenged me with to say, no, we can do this. And I was like,
and we did it.
Should we take a course? Should we buy a book? Should we hire a coach? And you were like, nah, we got it.
Look, it's the end of the season.
We did it. We did it.
And it only caused minor pains.
Minor anxiety sessions, but we made it.
Yes.
We look good. We have an incredible team of people to thank for helping us get here. And I hope that people at home have loved the season and have listened and shared and followed us on social. And I think if they like it, we should try for a season 2.
Yeah, I think once this rolls out, I would love to hear more and what else we should talk about. Like there's, some of our episodes have been very designer focused.
Yeah.
Some of them ain't got nothing to do with the fact that we happen to be designers. Do we want to hear about the difference between full flat fee and hourly? Do we want to hear about, the time that working with contractors? Like how much of this is interesting or how much of it is more interesting to hear about kind of the day-to-day life stuff that we are also dealing with?
Or is it a mix? Is it a healthy
Or do you
mix?
want us just to get on TikTok and look at you?
That too.
I mean,
that too.
I feel like, or OnlyFans, we could get paid.
No, ma'am.
We could get paid.
Okay. Anyway, with that, people, we're going to say thank you for joining us.
I don't even really know what OnlyFans is. That's the funniest part.
That's why you can't just be saying random stuff on the podcast because you don't even know.
Do we know what it is?
Yes.
Is it all bad?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Let's take that out.
Okay. This is what the gift of the edit is.
Listen, this isn't a blooper. Can't I just sell like feet pics on OnlyFans?
No.
Okay.
Right.
Ain't my problem. She got to hustle. Okay, anyway. But no, like I think I would love to hear more about what people really want. And so we can tailor it. Because I would love to do this again. So please let us know. It's just been great.
It's been so fun.
I'm happy we did it.
I'm so happy we did it.
All right.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye.